We teach a lot of kids about where their food comes from up here.
Everybody loves dolphins, but this is a little more special than that.
One tree can have over 200 species of plants growing on it. Welcome to Save My Planet. I'm Stephen Brooks. Water might just be our most precious natural resource. Without it, we couldn't survive. That's why it's so important to do everything we can to preserve it. Here in the cloud forests of Costa Rica, nature has its own way of holding on to water, especially rainwater. But as we cover our cities with asphalt and concrete, that becomes harder and harder to do. Fortunately, there are some innovative and amazing building techniques that can help us conserve water while still keeping us dry.
There's only 0.1% of prairies remaining in Illinois from the way they found them before pre-settlement. In the redevelopment of Glenview, they had set aside this 32-acre remnant prairie in order to provide a place and a focus for people to come and learn about the native species here and learn about ecology and learn about green building, and specifically to learn about what residents could do in their houses that would be relevant, they could see here.
Well, green roof is basically just covering a standard rooftop over some sort of built structure with vegetation.
About 4,000 square feet of the rooftop is made up of a green roof. And the green roof has so many benefits.
The first would be stormwater management. It's raining right now. If you're in an urban environment, anything that hits any rooftop, any roadway, any parking lot is all going to get washed into a sewer system, and an engineer had to figure out how to get rid of all that.
And when there's too much water runoff, you get flooding and unfiltered sewage. Yuck.
60% or more of the rain that's falling on this roof is never going to hit that eaves, and it's never going to wash away.
The rain that's falling on the roof right now is actually cleaner when it comes off the roof than when it falls onto it, because the green roof is absorbing nitrogen out of the raindrops and actually filtering the water. One of the other things from an owner's perspective is it really protects the roof membrane underneath from UV degradation, and also from the extreme thermal swings of freezing and the thawing. So therefore, the roof should last 2 to 3 times longer than a conventional roof.
The third benefit of a green roof would be an insulating value during the summer, so cooling costs.
Not only do green rooftops insulate, they also provide passive cooling through transpiration. What?
That's kind of like if you spill rubbing alcohol on your hand, it evaporates away and your hand feels colder. As soil and plants pull water through the green roof and away from the roof, it does the exact same thing to the building, cooling it from the top down.
Neat trick, Kevin, but building one of these things has got to be expensive, right?
Before just saying a green roof is expensive, I'd kind of talk about some of the value it brings to the building. If you're already putting a new roof on a building, which you have to do every 15 to 20 years anyway, that's the perfect time to put a green roof down, because what it does is it will double or triple the life of that membrane. Green roof could potentially cost 2 or 3 times as much as a normal roof.
If you want to put a garden on a roof that can have a tree, a 30-foot tree, you better be prepared for some serious intervention. However, you can do green roofs that are as minimal as 2 inches.
It's marketable, actually, because, you know, you rip out all your insulation and put in green insulation. It still looks like a wall. This is beautiful.
I believe that buildings should be integrated into nature instead of nature being integrated into the built environment. And there is no better expression of doing it than green buildings and green roofs.
As you can see, green rooftops do a lot more than just look pretty. When we come back, we'll see how a restaurant found a whole new way to make their rooftop not only environmentally friendly, but delicious too. Water is fast becoming a scarce commodity, but there are a few simple ways you can help save it every day. Turn the water off when you're standing there brushing your teeth. Turning off the tap in the morning and at bedtime can save up to 8 gallons of water per day. And try to avoid taking too many baths. Short showers are a smart way to help keep that precious water from flowing down the drain. Welcome back to Save My Planet. Just like the cloud forest of Monteverde in Costa Rica, green rooftops do an amazing job of handling and conserving rainwater runoff. But these rooftop gardens can do a whole lot more.
This is the first certified organic rooftop farm in the country. It's on top of my restaurant called Uncommon Ground. I have European family. You know, to them it's the most natural thing in the world to grow the food that they eat. I worked in the garden as a kid, and most of my fond food memories came from that time in my life. When we were actually looking at this building and deciding to buy the building, and we came to examine the condition of the roof, it was a sunny day in February, and as my head cleared the roof line and I saw this enormous, wide open, sunny space, the first thing that popped into my head was a red ripe tomato.
Wait a second. How do you just plop a farm down on your roof?
If you have an existing building, you're going to put a green roof on it. You have to make sure you have a sufficient structure. If you're doing a new roof design, there's a tiny little premium for the additional structure, but it really washes out.
Probably have over 6 tons of weight up here, including the soil, the planter boxes, the solar panels. I have 4 beehives. It's a completely different growing zone than trying to plant food in the soil on the earth. We're experimenting with all manner of vegetables right now. Obviously, tomatoes is going to be our primary crop, but there's squash, pumpkins. We're also focusing on heirlooms.
Heirlooms are plants that were first grown before modern crossbreeding. They reproduce naturally and help maintain biodiversity.
We think that by searching through heirlooms, we'll find certain varieties that really enjoy this climate and will allow us to produce a lot of food. Everything that we grow up here will eventually show up on a plate in one of our 2 restaurants.
As a chef, obviously one of our goals is always to try to get the freshest produce or products that we can.
I think our customers love it. And you know, I think they really enjoy coming here because of our commitment to producing our own.
It obviously reduces the carbon footprint, food miles. You know, it's not traveling very far at all.
Well, the food might not travel, but the people sure do.
We really try to use this farm as a form of education and awareness. We teach a lot of kids about where their food comes from up here, and in an urban environment, many kids have no idea.
Our attitude has always been you do whatever you can to make it a little better. So if you're taking one small step and you keep doing small steps and small steps, eventually it becomes one big step.
It was an immensely large undertaking to make this happen, but also an immensely worthwhile one. You know, I think it's really, you know, helped us to connect with the entire community, and it's really made a difference for us in our quality of life, and it's been priceless.
Now there's a way to take farming to the next level and help prevent rainwater runoff too, especially in urban areas. That excess water can strain sewage systems and end up polluting lakes, rivers, and bays. Just ask the pink dolphins of Hong Kong Harbor. That's next.
At the crossroads of an entire hemisphere is a land where the forces of nature have converged to create amazing new life forms and brilliant new ways of living. A land of astounding natural beauty and innovative people who are reshaping their lives with 21st century technology and a commitment to transform the future. Beauty beyond description, vision beyond expectation. Costa Rica, no artificial ingredients.
Welcome back to Save My Planet. As we all know, economic development comes with a price. Dirty skies, tainted food, polluted water, but the damage can be undone. In Hong Kong, a group of folks found an unusual ally in their campaign to clean up the harbor and protect one of its most colorful residents, the pink dolphin.
Any dolphin gets tourists out. Everybody loves dolphins, but this is a little more special than that, obviously, because they're pink.
And that really blows people away that there are pink dolphins here with factories and power stations and an airport sitting there, and we've got this amazing species, and you know, we're not, I think it makes some people angry actually, because you know, we're not doing an awful lot to protect them. This brackish estuarine water is ideal for Indo-Pacific humpbacks. They're always found near a major river mouth.
These waters are viable for them to rear their calves in, so it's not as easy for these dolphins to just get up and move.
And it's the rivers and harbor that are bearing the brunt of Hong Kong's rapid expansion.
I mean, to be honest, the developers run Hong Kong, so there's no concept of what you are doing to the environment.
The new airport on Lantau Island reclaimed prime dolphin habitat.
There's a power station right behind us here.
A lot of raw, semi-processed sewage is dumped into the waters here.
We only treat about 30% of our sewage in Hong Kong, and the other 400,000 cubic meters every day gets dumped into the sea. That's over 4,000 truckloads. Putting an economic value on something in Hong Kong tends to work more than, say, dolphins are cute or cuddly or intelligent. If you look at Australia, Vancouver, Cape Cod, whale and dolphin watching is big business.
To help raise awareness about the plight of Hong Kong Harbor and earn money for their cause, Dolphin Watch partnered up with the dolphins.
We get a lot of Western people, both tourists and expats who live here, and lots of Japanese tourists, and some local people.
The biology is talked about to all the guests on board.
It's a species always found in a major river mouth, which in this case is the Pearl River.
There's also lots of questions that come back.
What's the average lifespan of a dolphin in this water compared to the more healthier waters?
Yeah, they should live 30 or 40 years. We follow the code of conduct, which is set up by agriculture and fisheries.
There is a certain distance we have to keep from the animals. We have to run parallel with the animals, and there is no intercepting or crossing over the path of the animals.
Once you spot a dolphin within about 100 meters, you've just got to sit and wait and let them decide.
You'd expect to see them in a more tropical environment, less smokestacks, less smog, less debris.
There's about 70 vessels an hour pass through the dolphins' habitat. We have dolphins with slashes to their dorsal fins. They suffer a lot of injuries from boat traffic. A couple of years ago, I had this rope right across there, really going across the body. You can see the mark there.
You know, it's very sad and depressing that we're intruding on their habitat so much that they're getting injured like that.
You know, lots of places, Boston, San Francisco, Sydney, Australia, have beautiful harbours, and I hope they preserve them a bit better than we've preserved our harbour and our outlying areas. Sometimes people will ask, what can I do? Kick up a fuss, protest. If all 7 million of us do something, it'll be a step in the right direction.
Well, it just goes to show you that a little bit of knowledge and a lot of elbow grease can go a long way. When we come back, we're going to take a visit to the Monteverde Cloud Forest, one of the most unique wildlife sanctuaries, and see what a group of locals is doing to protect this little piece of paradise. Welcome back to Save My Planet. Here in the Monteverde Cloud Forest of Costa Rica, nature does an amazing job of taking care of itself. From leafy ground covering that controls rainwater runoff to the abundant vegetation that feeds the wildlife, this is one of nature's most spectacular and diverse ecosystems. But to preserve it, we have to understand it and show it some respect. So I'm here with my friends Luis and Chico, and we're here in the Monteverde Cloud Forest. Really, really beautiful. So tell me, guys, tell me a little bit about the Cloud Forest.
We're on the top of the continental divide, where the trade winds blow in from the Caribbean, and it blow warm air up to the mountains. And so all these warm, humid air, as it breaks into the divide, as it cools off, it condenses and forms in clouds. A great percentage of the plants are growing on the trees because there's so much competition for light. So there's a crazy number of bromeliads, orchids, mosses, ferns, lichens.
And they're all getting up in there, fighting their way, trying to struggle for the light. It's so cool. So Luis, tell me about this fig tree back here. It's a nice one.
It's our big old friend, the strangler fig tree, which is an epiphyte. Epiphytes, most of the time, grow from the top down. A bird or bat, a monkey will leave some kind of seed on top of the tree, and then it will start sending roots down, start covering the whole tree. The whole tree will, at some point, start growing towards the sides, and it will pretty much kill itself.
Some of these trees carry over 200 species of plants.
Did you hear that? This one tree can have over 200 species of plants growing on it? Did I get that? One tree, 200 species?
One tree, 200 species, yeah.
Not more.
Yeah.
So much necessity to have all of these different species to make this all work. You know, if you think about like the cutting of the forest and the clearing of areas, you start losing a few species, and that kind of is like a chain reaction that affects everything, it seems like.
But diversity is very important. Say a pine tree forest gets a fungus and it just kills them all.
Right.
Here, there's so much diversity that nothing can actually kill the forest, basically.
So it keeps that natural balance.
Exactly.
You know, it's so interesting how each species really fills its niche. It's kind of like in a town. You know, everybody starts filling it. Well, you got a plumber, and then you have somebody that becomes, you know, the supermarket owner, and then so, you know, so it's like all of these different species, you know, fill their different niches to make the whole place function. And if one goes away, you know, something else has to come in there and fill it. Wow, well, this sure looks different. Much lighter here.
This is secondary forest. This is only about 35, 40 years old. It was cut down for dairy cattle farming. So these used to be pasture. And it's interesting because here is pretty much the transition point from secondary into the primary, which means it's the old growth, virgin forest.
It grows so fast. Sometimes in the States, like that could be hundreds of years old because they grow so much slower. Things in the rainforest here grow so fast.
Of course, what happens here is it rains probably up to 300 inches of rainfall a year, and then the forest never stops growing.
We're here at this hummingbird gallery. Tell me about this place.
This is a wonderful place, especially the great thing about it is it's very educational. People come from all over the world to see hummingbirds here. There is about 8 or 9 species here. Costa Rica, there's like 52. And as you can see, they're just amazing little jets that fly.
Yeah, normally you just see them zip by. I mean, here you actually really get to look at them.
We spotted a snake around here earlier, and let me see, it should be around here. Oh, look, there it is.
And is that snake dangerous?
Yeah, it is very venomous.
Wow.
The common name is a side-striped palm pit viper.
Wow.
Scientific name is Botriechis lateralis.
Scientific name. How do you know this, Luis? How old are you?
I'm 16, and well, how do I know this? I grew up I got raised in the cloud forest school.
Like part of the focus of the school is like you learn English, Spanish, and your normal subjects, but it has a focus on environmental education.
Totally, and thanks to them, here I am.
So here we are at Luis's school, the Cloud Forest School in Monteverde, and I'm here with Vera Zeladon. Qué gusto verte, doña Vera.
Gracias, igualmente.
What inspired you to start this school?
This school started around 18 years ago. The boom of the tourism got here too quick. It was hard to find teachers, to find managers for our businesses. So this was like the big opportunity to make our own school.
Vera is also the owner of the Hotel Belmar in Monteverde.
We built like 3, 4 different classrooms with the parents all working together, and some of us were teachers, some were workers doing the carpenting, and it was great.
18 divided by 6 is 3. Yes.
Here they do not only learn how to read and write, etc., but they really learn how to love nature. It is the truth. So you can see it with Luis.
You know, while we were walking through the forest and he was spotting things and telling me, you know, I've been here many, many times, and he was telling me things I never even knew. Tell me, who goes to this school?
I would say about maybe 80% of them are local Monteverde students, and the rest of them come from all around the world. Right now we have 20 students who are here from the United States and Europe. When our students graduate, our goal is not that they're nature guides, or that they're doctors, or that they're biologists. We want them to be good people who have found who they are here so that they know what they have to offer to the world.
I'm here with Milton Brenes, who's the environmental educator here at the Cloud Forest School, and he's teaching them a lot of things. Entonces, Don Milton, qué gusto conocerte, hermano. So tell me, Milton, what kind of things are you teaching the students here?
La importancia de la raíz, la semilla en sí.
So he's saying that it's really important for students to understand species, understand their roots, understand the seed, and understand their leaves and all of the importance. Luis, you realize you are so lucky to have a teacher like Milton that's so knowledgeable, obviously, but passionate about what he's doing, and it feels like he's really inspired you.
Indeed, yeah, that's very true. All of his knowledge together with all his experiences are passed on to me, so I can pass it on to other people with my experiences itself, and all that generates
change.
Change, yeah.
Yeah.
El futuro de nuestros países son nuestros jóvenes.
Yeah. He's saying that the future of our country are our children, and students like Luis, it's like passing the baton to the people that are going to be, basically managing our planet. I feel really inspired. What an amazing place. Imagine what it would be like if this were your backyard. Well, the people who live here know how beautiful this place is, and they know the importance of protecting it. With the help of the Cloud Forest School, there's a good chance it'll be here for generations to come. I'm Stephen Brooks. See you next time. You got to save my planet. You got to save it now. Here in Monteverde, you can see they know how. You got to save my planet. You got to save it now. Here in Monteverde, you can see they know how. Yeah, you can see they know how.